Yes? Okay, all right, fantastic. So welcome everybody. If you don't know me, my name's Michelle Withers. I am so excited to be here. Okay, no problem. And I have been with 3 different direct sales companies and earned their titles and trips and all that kind of fun stuff. If you've been on other classes, you may have learned a little bit about what's called motivational styles. I like variety. And so that's why I do what I do now, because one day I can talk about mascara, and another day I can talk about greens, and another day I can talk about Advocare, and another day I can talk about weight loss. And I mean, I get to talk about something new all the time. And that's what makes me the happiest. And I love to help people get their own little miracles and see amazing things happen with goal setting and with asking really good questions. Those are my 2 little fortes. So one of the things I had an experience with, well, let me ask you real quick, and you guys can chat down at the bottom or shout it out real quick. Tell me one part of your sales, like, would you like to have more people at parties? Would you like to sell more at booths? Would you like to increase your sales at parties? Do you want to sell more online? Where do you want to sell more? Like, how do you, in what method do you want to go about increasing your personal sales?
Increase party sales, online party sales.
Increase online party sales. Okay, keep going. We're getting a whole bunch of
increase home party sales.
Increase home party sales, online sales.
Increase sales, increase follow-up sales, increase
follow-up sales.
Creative sales. Yeah.
All right, follow-up sales is a good one. Awesome. Okay, super. Increase my sales online and parties, more skincare collections. Okay, customers at party, all the above, more sales from online sales. Okay, awesome. So what would that do for your business if you could do more sales with the people that you are with? Think about that for a minute. Wherever you're at, if you do more sales at a booth, or you do more sales while you're doing a party, or you sell more to that one person online, what would that do to your business and your life to have that happen?
Make more money.
Make more money. Yep, generate income and momentum. Oh, I like that. Momentum, exactly.
It would make all of our time more productive.
Go ahead, Michelle, what'd you say?
Oh, make our time more productive. We're not repeating the same thing with no results.
Exactly. So more money in a shorter amount of time, right? Okay, anybody interested in that, or you just want to work double the hours and make half the money, right? That's what everybody wants, right? All right. Okay, so if I could share just a quick story with you. My first company was scrapbooking supplies. I lived in the Midwest, y'all, and, oh, they don't say y'all there, they say oofta, and they're scrappers, okay? If you've ever seen, what is that show? New in Town. Have you ever seen New in Town? Oh, it's hysterical. You got to watch that, then you'll get what my life was like for 5.5 years in North Dakota. They're scrappers out there, okay? And they got a fun little accent. But anyway, so I did scrapbooking supplies. I'd earned a trip, and I'd earned a title. And quite frankly, every single city away from me was 100 miles one way. I lived in a town of 15,000 people. Almost all of them were retired. There were very few, like, just stay-at-home moms. And so I started traveling. And luckily, gas was $1 a gallon at that point. But I traveled all over North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and I grew this business, and that's how I did it. Okay, it was kind of crazy at that time. There was no online stuff. This was a few years ago. And one of the things I did is I got some training. I wanted to take my business to the next level. I'd already earned one trip, and I had a goal to earn the next trip in half the time allotted. I think I had, I don't know, 10 months or something, or I don't know how long it was. All I know is that I had until about November, December, and I'd earned it by June. Okay, and that was my big goal, was to earn it in half the time allotted. So what did I need to do? I needed to make more money in less time. So I'm going to tell you some tips on what I did and how I did that. Because who thinks, I mean, that would just be way fun to not be putting in that order at 11:59 at that last date, whatever, you know, it might be a car bonus, might be a trip, might be that, just that bonus for that month. but that is just not fun, right? To be putting it in at that last hour. So being able to think ahead and have goals and shorten up your time is just so much fun. So I'm going to tell you some things that I did and why this makes such a big difference, all right? Okay. So let me tell you, the first thing that I did was I learned how to ask questions, and even before that, I learned how to set goals. Okay, so I've got Jennifer and Jody and Rochelle and Lindsay. Okay, which one of you, wave at me real quick, who wants to tell me a cool story about setting your goals? Dodie just unmuted. Go, Dodie.
Well, so
Okay, put the camera on your face. I don't care what makes.
Oh my gosh, you
There
guys.
we go. You're so cute. Okay. Tell us
Okay.
your story.
So I set out to do an overabundance of PRS this month. And I have, if I could take my computer and show you guys, you would laugh, because everywhere I look, it says 5,000 in personal retail sales, all the way up the stairs and the bedrooms and the bathrooms everywhere. I am, what is this, the 10th day in, and I have been messaging people like crazy, and I sold 500 yesterday and like 200 today. And I mean, I'm only a short amount of time through my list. It's just been nuts, like crazy.
Tell them about the orders that are coming in, like without you even working on them.
Oh yeah. So I always take my little note and write down what I want specifically and tuck it away, like Michelle has taught us to do. And like the other day, a week or so ago, I had an order that was not only my largest order I'd ever had at one time, but from somebody that I didn't even know. And it just seems like that just keeps happening. It's like the power of positive. It's just been really overwhelming in a really good way.
Awesome. Lindsay, you're all smiles. You tell a quick story real quick. What's the power of setting your goals?
I just did the same thing. Like, I started writing stuff down and putting it away, and I said I'm going to have $1,000 in sales the first week. And my girlfriend was asking for money, and I was like, well, can I just do a fundraiser? And I set up this fundraiser, and it's like at $1,000. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never, like, that wasn't even a party on the books. So it's just, I've been writing everything down. Now I'm like, now I write everything down.
And Lindsay, you even had a little bit of a hard time doing that, right?
Oh yeah.
That wasn't easy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing you got to understand is I completely appreciate that for some people, it's really hard to put down what you want to have happen, and how you want it to have happen. Sometimes that's a hard, scary thing to do. Okay. But is it worth finally getting over that hump and just doing it? We had to share it a few tears and kind of hold the fire to you a little bit, didn't we, Lindsay? Okay. But am I still nice? Are we still friends? We're still friends, right?
Yeah. I told Michelle, you didn't think this call was going to go this way. I was like hysterical. She's like, that's okay. I'm tough.
I know tears. I've done tears before. Okay. So the first thing you always want to do is set your goals. Okay. Now, if some of you are like a pure realist and you just don't like to shoot too high, what I usually tell you is do what you think you can and add about 20%. Some of you just shoot for the stars and you don't care if you miss a little bit, okay? So it kind of depends on how risk adverse you are and how much you just hate not accomplishing your goal. If you hate not accomplishing your goal, it's okay, set smaller ones at first, but then you will get braver and you'll set bigger ones. And it's okay when you don't quite hit it every time, right, Lindsay? Because last time I talked to you, you had like 872 out of your 1,000. Sorry, it's got a tickle.
Yeah, well, every time that I think we're done, because the party ends tonight, and every time I think we're done, like, she just got a $250 order and then a $220 order. And
Wow.
there's like 2 more coming in tonight. So I was like, crap, even when I think it's done, I'm like, oh yeah, more money. I can write down more. I'll have more, please.
Okay, so some people are saying they feel like a failure if they don't make it. You know what? It's one of those things, like, I can tell you, when I first talked to Dodie, and she just simply wanted a little bit of money to pay for a class. Okay, that was the first thing she wrote down. And it was kind of like, okay. And she did it, and then the money came in, and bam. So then she's like, okay, I'm going to set a goal for sales for myself. So then she sets that goal, bam, happens. And now it's just like, okay, I'm just not going to quit writing. It's one of those things I tell people, if you just hope that I might be right, just simply hope that I might be right. Put it down and see what happens. I know my dear friend Michelle down here, she can tell more stories than anyone. I have told her she better be careful what she writes down because she gets everything she writes on paper. It's like almost freaky, okay? So put down what you want. That's the very, very, very first step, okay? I can tell you all sorts of stories of my own, but we're going to go on from here, okay? Put down what you want. Now, the thing we're going to talk about tonight is how to ask really, really good questions. Now, when you get an aha moment, I want you to write down a question that's really good for your product. And on Facebook or your favorite social media, I want you to go put that fun question and see what response you get from people. And you're going to put hashtag create success, CR8 success, and tag me in it, Michelle Hess Withers. If we're not friends, go add me as a friend. So it's CR8 success, okay? And when you do that, then message me down here at the bottom, and your name will go into a drawing. Now, how many of you do booths? Some of you do booths, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you tweak your drawing slip, and it's going to be more effective than anything you've ever had. Jennifer, how much do you love the drawing slip that thing that I do? Whoops, I just muted you again. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's amazing. It really it gets them thinking. It gives more questions to find out what their needs are, and it also of 1 to 10 asks how much they're interested in the opportunity. But I don't say it that way. I say, like, how much fun would on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun do you think it would be to get paid by to play with makeup?
Right, and she got 25 leads off of one booth from that. Right.
Yeah, well, I got more, but that was, yeah, I got more than that, but that
recruit,
really recruit possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Just recruit leads. That wasn't sales, just 25 recruit leads. Okay, so the key to this, and I want you to think about this for a minute. If you've ever been standing and talking to somebody about your product in Target or at a booth or even at a party, if you're doing all the talking, have you ever seen this look from people? This is what y'all are avoiding, is this little look. That pull back and their eyes get a little bigger. Oh, you're trying to sell to me and you just talk too much, okay? Y'all have seen that either by somebody else's experience or your own experience, right? Would you agree? It's this look. That's all you don't want to have happen. They're not going to throw tomatoes at you. They're not going to run screaming, don't talk to Dodie. Okay, like nothing really bad's going to happen. Y'all just hate that body language. That's all you're trying to avoid. This look, right? Okay, that's it. So I'm going to help you with that. If the other person is talking, so think about this for a minute. If the other person is talking, they're engaged. They're right here. They're looking in your eye and they're talking away. They stay. They stay right there. They're not trying to run away. This pullback thing doesn't happen. So what we want to do is get people talking about themselves and something that has to do with your product. So I'm going to give you some ways to do that, and your sales go way up by the simple fact that you are able to get other people talking about themselves in regards to the product you offer. Does that sound exciting? Okay, so just get them talking. It's awesome. Okay, so let me tell you about some of the questions I teach people to ask. You can do this when you're sitting down with a one-on-one. You can ask these questions when you meet a brand new person. And I'm going to teach you how to ask these questions in a situation when you are in a party. And you can do that both online, or one of the things that I've been talking to people about is using this thing is called Zoom. Using Zoom for your parties instead of just Facebook. You also can record these, okay? This is awesome. Okay, these questions, there's a lot of different ways you can use these. So my very first favorite question is what's called the positive question. One of the things that's really, really, really important to understand is that people don't like you to assume that they have a problem, okay? And you know, if you stood next to me, you would see that, you know, I could lose a few pounds, but of course I don't want you bringing it up to me, hey, Michelle, you got 20 pounds hanging on your butt, okay? So that's just not politically correct, right? We can't do that. But there's other ways we can talk to people about what their health goals are, you know, and ask them. What we do is we start with a positive question. So if somebody was to ask me, hey, Michelle, what are some of your, you know, healthy habits? What kind of things do you do to keep yourself healthy? One of the things I could tell you is I happen to be a water drinker, okay? You'll see this all the time. I'm a water drinker. I'm boring. I don't drink juice. I don't drink milk. I'm a water girl, okay? Happens to be one thing I happen to do right, okay? Consume too much chocolate, but I happen to like water. So, but often, so imagine that question for a health product. What's one of the things, you know, what's one of your health habits? Well, I drink water, but oh my gosh, I consume too many calories. My portions are too big. I'm not getting enough exercise. Automatically, a lot of times people will just go down that little slippery slope and start venting without you having to ask them anything that's wrong in their life. Think about women, how critical they are. A lot of you are selling unique on here. Tell me what's your favorite facial feature, the spotlight and highlight when you're putting on makeup. Well, I could tell you I like my eyes, but I don't like how round my face is. I'd love some contour, make my cheekbones come out, you know, until somebody gets me to lose some weight, then that happens a little more naturally, okay? So someone will instantly start talking about what, oh, my lips are too small. Like, I'm a lips and eye girl, so I'm always gonna have that kind of stuff on. But somebody else doesn't like that part about them, okay? So you ask them what they like. Some people are gonna even have a hard time telling you anything and might automatically just go off telling you several things that they don't like, okay? So that's your first question, is what's called the positive question. So think about that for a minute, okay? Think about that question, how you could ask that based on your product. Everybody, are your wheels turning? I see everybody taking notes. Okay. The next question, if they don't happen to just, you know, unleash and vent on you, and they're just like, well, I happen to like this, and then they quit talking, then what we want to do is, because we want to reveal needs, we want to find little situations where we might have a product that will help them. So one of the things we want to do is say, you know what, is if you could improve just on one area, just one little thing about your health, or if you had one new makeup tip, or, you know, what's one area of your skin that you'd like to improve the texture of, or, you know, these different kind of situations, all right? So you ask them, what's that one thing? Then that makes it sound like, we don't think you have a whole bunch of problems. We're just wondering if there happens to be one thing. So like a lot of you who have talked to me, you'll hear me ask, hey, if you could get more consistent or a little more education about one particular area of your business, what would it be? Because in that way, you know, we all are working the best we can, and a lot of times we know what to do. Sometimes we just need a little more consistency. So it just softens it. We don't want to go, so what's your problem? Why aren't you succeeding at losing weight? But we can say, if you had one little new idea, what would that be? Okay? Y'all got that? So that's your next question. Now, when somebody has kind of come out and told you about something, to help them save face and give them the opportunity to tell you what they've done in the past, so you know what's worked and what isn't worked. So let's say somebody gets talking about their health, or gets talking about, you know, having thicker, longer lashes, whatever it might be. You say, tell me what you've already tried so far. What that does, instead of jumping in and when you've heard the problem with an instant solution, that continues to keep them talking. Okay, so they're staying engaged and not doing that pullback thing, because that's what we're avoiding, right? So you ask them, tell me what you've tried so far. And the next question you want to do is find out, well, how well did that work? So you ask, okay, so tell me, how close did that help you get to your actual goal? Or how effective was that? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how well or how close did that get you to your goal? Okay. There's lots of different ways to say that. The thing you don't want to do, it's got to be open-ended. Can you hear how that's open-ended? If you ask, well, did that work well for you? They might say, well, yeah, because they don't know something else would work just as well. Does that kind of make sense? It's got to be open-ended so they could tell you that it worked partially, but there's some areas that it kind of failed you or failed them. Okay, make sense? All right. So now my next, the next thing you want to do is look at your product and come up with a couple questions solely based around your product. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you know about detoxing and what you've heard about that. Have you ever tried that? What do you know about that? Tell me a little bit about your current skincare routine. Tell me a little bit about the colors you most like to wear. Tell me a little bit about what you do to get in your fruits and vegetables every day. Tell me a little bit, okay? So look at your products, especially those ones that are unique to your line. There are no pun intended there, but anyway, that are, okay, what is it that makes it different? Now, one of the things that's so important is to find like this one question for example, one of the questions I have them ask is, tell me if you could only put on one type of makeup before you leave the house, you just can't live without that one, what's that one product? So that's a good question when you're in a booth situation, because you want to start talking to them about the product they're most excited about, okay? The interesting thing is, like, you may have someone who doesn't wear mascara, or, for example, those that do Advocare, I'm allergic to Splenda, so I can't do the Spark, and that's their go-to product. You all have a go-to product, and I can tell you right now, I will promise you, you are losing sales if you always lead with your go-to product, because there's going to be a percentage of people who don't use that product. Does that make sense? Whereas if you have a question, tell me what's one area of your health that you're hoping to improve, or what's one area of your body you would love to shrink, or tell me, okay, there's all these different questions you can ask. What are some of your health goals for the year? What's a physical fitness thing? You know, what's a goal, athletic goal you have for the year? Asking these different kind of questions reveals needs, so then you know which product to lead with. So let me tell you a quick story. I was working with a group of people who all did wedding. They all had something to do with weddings. One like literally carved ice sculptures. One sold flowers. One was officiant. One had a facility where they hold weddings at different people. Okay, all these different situations. So the person who officiated weddings, we were talking about, they all did booths. Okay, they all did these wedding fair expo things. And so the gal that did the officiating, we got talking, and she's like, okay, now how would I use this? I says, well, think about this for a minute. Right now, the brides come into your booth, and what do? She says, well, I introduce myself, and we have a couple examples of ways we make their wedding special. We show them those ways, and then, you know, we have them fill out a drawing slip, and off they go. I said, okay. I says, what if instead you ask them, you said they come to the booth, you ask them their name. Okay, hi, you know, okay, Lindsay, you're my bride. Okay, hi, Lindsay, tell me where you're, you know, where are you holding your wedding at?
At my church.
At your church. And what time of year is it going to be held?
In June.
In June. Awesome. Okay. Have you been looking at things? Is there any like special thing that you want to do to kind of do like a bonding type of ceremony thing for you and your husband? Like, what have you seen in brides magazines, your friends do? What's something you want to do that'll make it special?
I would like to go ahead and just put that ball chain right around his ankle. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, we can make it pretty and put flowers on it. There you go.
I think I want to do the sand where he pours the color of sand and I pour a color of sand into one glass jar. That's what I want to do.
Oh, cool. Okay. So let's just pretend this gal had 3 examples. Those 3 examples had nothing to do with the sand. Okay. She shows her the 3 examples. I said, do you have like 10 ways to make a wedding special? She goes, well, yeah. I says, here you show the top 3. Lindsay's, her idea, you do, but it's number 7. You didn't tell her about it. And you just lost a client because they kept walking by because you didn't do that one special thing that she wanted. But had you asked her what she wanted, and you could say, well, I can do that for you, you just got a few more clients. The reaction on her face, I've been doing it wrong. Like, she was so upset. I was like, no, it's okay. I'm like, but you've got clients, right? She's like, well, yeah. And I says, okay, you didn't do it all wrong. I'm just saying you might be able to get a couple more clients doing it this way. Oh, okay. I mean, she just like, the light bulb moment just hit her like 2x4, okay? Because all of a sudden she realized her doing all the talking was losing clients versus her asking questions and getting them to talk. That was going to get her a few more. Did you see it? Like, did you get it? Did you feel that? Okay. When you ask questions, you get more business. Okay. Because you talk about the product that's exactly perfect for them. Not every one of your product, especially your lead product, yeah, maybe 75% of the time the lead product is the right one to go with. But who would like to increase their sales simply because they led with the right product? Anyone want to increase them by 25% because you quit leading with your most popular product every single time? Now, there's certainly a lot of times you're going to lead with it, but you're going to know that based on the question. Okay? So that's what's so exciting about this. You're going to connect with so many more people than you ever have before because you're going to learn how to ask really good questions. And they've got to be open-ended, and you got to ask them until you find 3 needs. When you learn what color makeup they like to wear and they want to have longer lashes and all these different things, okay, when you learn that about them, then you can offer a whole line of products instead of just the one that is most popular in your line. Okay, it's really important to understand that find 3 needs before you start talking about your line, because then all of a sudden if they have a whole bunch of stuff they want, it's much easier to get them to be a hostess, because now they want so much stuff, it'd be nice to get some of it for free. Or they like it so much, oh, would you just hate it if you got new recruits now? Okay, do you see how this trickles down? You can get more recruits, you can get more bookings, you can get more initial sales, you get better repeat sales, all those things domino by doing this, okay? Are y'all getting it? Any questions at this point? Okay, all right. So the next thing I'm gonna tell you about is how to apply this in a party. And when I learned how to do this, this is crazy exciting, because when I did this and changed up my parties, this is where I really made a huge difference in my sales, because I'm seeing more people at once, okay? So look at it in this little scenario, using it in a group. So let me tell you how this works. It's so, so fun. Okay, so many of you, I have this little joke that people infomercial. Okay, we talk at people, it's like a TV show. We tell them 16 different ways to use that really cool, exciting product, okay? That's kind of a typical way to infomercial or to do a party. And you're going to get to show your product the exact same way you do now. I'm not asking you to change your party up. I'm not asking you to switch the order you do things in, any of that. I'm just going to help you do the introduction a little bit different and then include some questions as you're presenting products. Okay, does that sound good? All right, so the way that we do this, and I kind of modeled it for you at the first, what you want to do is ask a rhetorical question, something like, who would love to go home and have shrunk a couple inches tonight around their waist, right? Who would like go, no, heck no, I hope it grows, bring on the chips, okay? Who brought the snacks, right? Okay, who would like to shrink a couple inches in one evening? All right, so tell me, if you could pick one area to shrink, what would that area be, okay? Or you could ask, if you're going to leave the house with only 1 stitch of makeup on, what would that makeup be? Okay, you want a question where people are talking about their needs. Now, I see all the time people go, they start, they'll ask things like, oh, tell me something you like about the hostess. Now, that's fine, and I'm sure the hostess is a very nice person, but that doesn't find out any needs, okay? You need the question to be based around your product and revealing what's a reason they might be there and what's something you want to show them. Now, before you even get to those questions, one of the things I want you to do is do everything you can to remember their names. And I'm not going to go into that. If you don't know how to remember names, go online. There's a million ways to learn how to do it better. When they come in the door, introduce yourself, ask them their name, repeat it back to them. try to remember names because it's going to be really helpful when you get to this one point in this, okay? So ask names, then we'll ask them again when we go around and we're asking this question. But then as we're presenting products, we're going to be able to hand certain products to people based on what they mention. And you really want to know their names because it's going to make it really personal, okay? All right. So what you want to do, ask the rhetorical question. Then you're going to ask this question, and that's going to be part of their introduction. Now, I'm going to warn you right now that introductions does take a little bit longer when you do it this way, and you lose a little bit of control because when somebody starts talking about, oh, I hate how short and awful my eyelashes are, and this other person's talking about, gosh, I wish my lipstick would stay on all day. Ooh, me too. And then they're like, oh, it starts to lose control. But it's good. It's totally worth it, okay? You'll bring them back around. Okay, girls, we got to talk about some product and some of the things that you want to hear about now, and you bring them back in. It's totally okay that you lose control just a little bit. It's worth it because you know what they need, okay? That's what we're trying to find out is what they need and what people are interested in as you're going. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. All right. So we'll go around the room. We'll ask, tell me your name and tell me what that product is that you just can't leave the house without it being on, or your one area you want to shrink, or a health goal that you have for 2015, whatever it is. Okay. Come up with a question like that. So we start over here with Susie, and Susie talks and she tells you her goal or her need, her goal. Then Becky talks and Becky goes, ooh, I need that too. And so you go around the room and all of a sudden you know all these people's different needs, okay? So let me tell you how I did it. When I was doing scrapbooking supplies, I would ask people, if you only had 3 memories that you could preserve, let's just pretend 2 weeks from now your memory goes completely blank and you can't remember anything to get it down on paper. And you preserved 3 memories. What would those 3 memories be? Well, it was pretty emotional because some people were telling, like, one gal, her husband had just died, and I don't know, like, we'd all end up in tears half the time. It was kind of interesting. And so you go around and they would talk about their memory. So then as I went through products, I could be like, you want this paper and you want this product. So when you're doing that, it's amazing what happens. But before you go there, what you want to do is you want to ask permission. You want to say, can I share a story with you about how this product has made a difference in my life, what I love about it? Now, I encourage you to do a product-based story versus a recruiting, I love being part of this company story, because at this point, we're just trying to get them hooked on the product. I'm kind of a believer that people will buy stuff or better salespeople with stuff that they're passionate about the product versus only passionate about being able to make a lot of money with the company, okay? That's my personal belief. You can do it how you feel good about it. But I've always found that people sell stuff that they're passionate about more than just when they're excited about how much money they can make. So I would share my story. My story had to do with, we had a little boy. He didn't have kidneys when he was born. And so all I had left was his little scrapbook because he died an hour after he was born. And so the fact that all I had left was the scrapbook was absolutely priceless to me. And so I just was really big on preserving memories, and it was just something that I was passionate about. So of course, people would cry with me. I didn't tell you like all the ugly details, but you want to share something about why you're so passionate about your product, why you love it, how it's helped you, a success story. And then we start sharing the product, okay? So as you're going through and you start talking about individual product pieces, you want to then, when you heard somebody that had a particular need, okay, Susie, you talked about hating having short, stubby eyelashes. You hand her the product. You talk to her and the other people who made those kind of comments, and you get it in their hands and you say their name. Now, if you can't remember their name, I just compliment them. Okay, cute lady with that pink color on, that's my favorite color. Okay, tell me your name one more time. Like, that's how I save it, is I compliment them. Okay, that's what I do. So, but do everything you can to remember their names, because that really pays off. Okay, so you go through. Now, if somebody didn't happen to mention lip liner, okay, you can go, all right, who here feels like they really have, small, tight lips, and they would love to have that fuller lip look or want to keep it on longer. I know, for example, Lindsay, she has a routine, these 3 products she layers. Okay, so, and then you can have people raise their hand, oh, me, that's a problem I have. Then you know, oh, there's another issue. I'm going to follow up with them when I start sitting down with them at the end of the night and find out what they want to order tonight. This is what's so exciting. How many of you have ever gone through your presentations, got to the end of the night, sat down with order forms, and you had no idea what to suggest that they order? Okay, what do you want to get? And you have no idea where to go with them. You will not have that problem anymore by doing this. You'll know what they said at the beginning. You'll know what they said. Oh, me. I want to, I want to sleep better at night, or I crash at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I need some extra energy, or whatever it was that you talked about, okay? As you're bringing out products, every new product, you should have a new question. Who has this problem? Who has this issue? Who has this need? This is what we're trying to find. Needs. So at the end of the night, you're going, okay, Becky, you talked about this, and this. Can I show you kind of like a program and what might help you with that? Well, yeah, you've made this connection. So I've taught a lot of people, none of you that I know of. I've had a lot of doTERRA people I've helped with this, and they've said anything from they've doubled to tripled their sales at their classes, and they come away far more connected. They can upsell more products. They can suggest more products. Then they can call back and also offer them more products and get them more excited about signing up because they've connected their needs with the product so much better than when they just deliver information from the very beginning and never ask questions. Okay, who's excited? Who's seen like the vision and how different your parties can be? Can you see how you can also do that online? You can be asking questions. Who has this situation? Tell me one area of this and this and this, okay? You can be doing this. If you're a big Facebook party person, ask those kinds of questions, okay? Be asking lots of questions of people. Don't just show product. Give them tickets, give them perks for asking questions or for answering your questions, because you need to find out their needs to be able to make really good suggestions, or you're just shooting in the dark and, suggesting the most popular product again. Okay? Who's excited about what you can do and how you can turn things around at your parties? Seriously, you can double and triple your sales by doing this. It's amazing. I was in shock as I was walking away and people would go, okay, and I'm bold if you say I'm not terribly shy. I never had anyone told me I was offensive, but I'd have these sweet ladies go, you're not pushy at all. And I'm thinking, okay, and then I'm looking at my sales and they're doubling. And that's a high. That's crazy fun, okay? There's so many cool things you can do when you learn to slow down and ask lots and lots and lots of questions, okay? All right, and a well duh moment. We'll call it an aha moment. We'll make it positive. It's an aha moment instead of a well duh moment, okay? And that's the thing. I know this is like common sense. So let me tell you, you ladies are the nicest, most caring ladies, and all you want to do is share your product and opportunity, right? You all believe someone needs your product or your opportunity, correct? Everyone with me, right? None of you are like, well, I sort of like my product. I don't know. I just do this because my friend made me. No, you're passionate about what you do. That's why you're here, right? Okay? And then you go and you start talking to people and you get all excited and they go like this, and all of a sudden they forgot that you were nice because you acted like a salesperson, okay? My goal is that people in network marketing are seen as the nicest, kindest, best listening, most helpful people that there are out there, and that they want to shop from you other than stores and other places. You do not get customer service at stores very often. Maybe the store Michelle works at, but seldom do you see very good customer service anymore, right? Sometimes, but not very often. Imagine the amazing service you can give because you ask really good questions and you take really, really good care of people. You can totally do this, ladies, and totally make a huge change and start changing the culture of this industry. I am determined, okay? I hate that you guys care so much and you just didn't know any different. They told you make your 100 names and go talk to your friends about your product, right? That's about the amount of training that you get sometimes. Just go talk to your 100 friends about it. And you're like, I don't know, what do I do? So you're all excited and you go, blah, 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 and they go, blah, okay? And I hear people burn bridges with friends and family because they didn't know how to do it any different. That's all this is. You know better, so guess what? Now you can do better. Is that way exciting? Okay, all right, super. Okay, so hopefully you thought of a question. Be sure to go to Facebook because you're going to get some responses from people. Now let me tell you how to do this on Facebook and on the online. When somebody mentions, either you're at the store, so like I don't think I have any jewelry or accessory people on tonight, or sometimes somebody might notice your lashes, or you have a bag with the sample pockets, you know, the little fair pockets or whatever it is. Rather, somebody mentions something on Facebook, or they see you at the store and they go, oh, I love your purse, and they mention something in your bag, okay? Both situations, please listen to me. Do not say, oh, I can help you buy that. Here's the website. Blah, 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 blah. No, no, stop, halt, okay? That's where you say, thank you. Hey, tell me what kind of makeup do you wear? Hey, tell me about what you do to stay healthy. Hey, tell me what got you thinking when you commented on that post. You do not send them a bunch of information and start talking about your product. Absolutely not. You ask 3 to 5 questions, not all in a row. It's back and forth. Let them answer one, ask another one. Let them answer one, ask another. You never, 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 never send people a whole bunch of information in your website and all your stuff about your product. You start a conversation. Okay, can you see how different this can be? When you get to talk about yourself, guess what happens? Trust is built. They believe in you. They're willing to take your advice when you've asked questions and you've listened. The number 1 used word in the English language is I. People love to talk about themselves. Okay? And when you stop and you let them talk about themselves, guess what? You gain trust, and people are much, much more likely to buy from you. I know it's real tempting to go, but I got to tell them all this information because what if they quit talking to me? Believe me, if they quit talking to you, they're not going to buy from you anyway. Okay, it's done. Let them talk as much as you can get them talking. Okay, now online, please understand, you ask questions, you go, you know what? I can help you a lot better if we could talk on the phone for just a few minutes. The goal should always, always be to get them on the phone. You don't sell much product online. Maybe one little thing here and there, but you don't find out all their needs. You can't upsell them. You can't sell them a whole, kit or a whole process. They might buy a mascara, or might buy some Spark, or might buy, one wrap or whatever. That's not the kind of customers you want. You want customers who are signed up with you, who buy consistently from you, who think about being hostesses, who are recruits, right? Get them on the phone. Okay? So I want to hear 5 aha moments. Who wants to share an aha moment with me real quick? Come on, no being shy. All right, go Dodie.
Well, my next online party, I'm going to try a Zoom meeting. I love
Cool.
that idea.
Awesome. Awesome. What other aha moments did you have?
I have one.
Oh,
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so finding 3 needs before you go and offer a product to them.
Yep. You'll nail them down, especially if there's 3 people that need it. If there's 3 people in their house that need it versus just mom, she's much more likely to buy it. Okay, Michelle, go for it.
The response to the comments. I'm horrible at data dumping and saying, you like it.
Nope. Question.
Shut up and gotta listen.
Yep. Listen. Okay, 2 more real quick.
My biggest party was when we actually posted asking them what their favorite makeup was.
Awesome.
I could see like some of the examples that you're giving, going in with that more in parties throughout, and then also like even if I'm posting on my personal Facebook, or any of those, asking like a simple question like that, and maybe like a cute picture, like the little meme or something with it, I could see people more comfortable with comedy.
Yeah, awesome. Well done. Okay, one more quick comment. Anyone else? Did anybody not have an aha moment? Who had an aha moment? Did most of you have an aha moment?
Okay, here, I'll talk.
Okay, go ahead.
My husband just came up. Okay. I'm a hairstylist, even though you can't tell right now. And it's a lot of stuff that, like, I've learned even from different training and classes too, like always keep it about them. So it's stuff that is constantly being reiterated, and I need that reminder. And even like with the Facebook party posts, I wouldn't have thought to do that. So I want to use that in my Facebook parties too. So.
All right. Awesome. Well done. Awesome, Ange. Love it. Okay. So if I could tell you, one of the things I will kind of give you a warning on is that this is a little bit difficult. This is a little hard it's hard to break your habits. Okay. So like Michelle was joking about, okay, it's so easy to kind of information overload people without thinking. Okay. That's really, really a tempting thing to do. And if that's been your habit, it's hard to break it. So what I do is I offer a couple of classes that help you break those habits faster. Dodie, have we been able to change your habits faster? Yeah? Okay. So I have a couple different programs. I have one that's called a 90-day challenge. And if you have a business that's going, if you're making money already, if you have some customers and a few recruits, that's a good fit for you, because we're going to improve all different areas of your business. And that one you can learn a little bit about, and you can message me if you'd like to talk about that one. The other one that I do is what we just added to our curriculum. We have 3 what are called master classes. There's one on building your customer list, and we teach you how to ask questions, find people, turn them into customers quickly, and start enlarging your customer list. The next one is the sales class. So what we did tonight, we're going to have 4 weeks of that, and by the end of it, you are going to have more sales. This isn't learn it and then go apply it. This is apply it as you go, right, Dodie? Do I just like teach you information and use it later? Like you apply it that day, right? It's not like long-term thing.
Right.
Okay. And then we have a recruiting class. Now, if you don't have a lot of recruits and you haven't had my sales training, you will want to do a 90-day or a sales training first. Okay. Now, the master classes, they are either $100 a piece or 2 payments of $60. They start next Tuesday night. They're at 5, 6, and 7. So you have finding customers or building your customer list. You have sales at 6, and you have at 7 o'clock, you have your recruiting class. You can find those at creativesuccesssystems.com. Now, if any of you just want to have a quick little chat with me and discuss, which class would be the best fit for me. So Margot, you're definitely on my list of people to chat with. So all you need to do, I'm going to stop the recording right now.